he likes to do the calls in lane, which means when he was the AD carry, he also did the calls with Nyph. So Nyph kind of knows how YellOwStaR thinks, and when he maybe he can predict when he wants to go in or when he wants to stay back.
So we're into the picks and bans then. Let's have a look what we're going to get from this one. First ban's coming out pretty quickly here with Kassadin and Annie being banned out by Alliance, Yasuo and Elise on Fnatic side.
No surprise so far. I mean, the Kassadin pick is very normal when you are on the blue side because Fnatic would have the chance to last pick Kassadin. At the same time, Annie ban, she is for me of all one of the strongest supports together maybe with a Leona, which we haven't seen today.
Yeah.
But it puts YellOwStaR in a position right now where he has to go probably a Thresh or Leona, if not then is banned away. And maybe Alliance is predicting from that.
We have seen a lot of Thresh today, which, as you said, no Leona whatsoever really surprises, but the fact is we do have the likes of N-Rated coming up a little bit later, who we know likes his Leona. Orianna banned out here actually for Alliance, aimed straight in towards Peke, who played it brilliantly against Gambit.
And now here's the thing, because Froggen plays LeBlanc. We just saw Alex play versus Peke's Orianna, where he simply maxed the shield on Orianna and just survived through the lane and farmed up. Maybe Alliance wants to leave this LeBlanc pick open for them by banning away the Orianna.
So a couple of seconds left for Fnatic's last ban, and well, you pretty much called it without calling it there. LeBlanc was banned out here by Fnatic. That's going to stop it coming over to Alliance. However, Lee Sin left open, and Alliance wasted no time in locking that in.
No time thinking. Fnatic banned away the Elise. It would have probably been the first pick if it was open. But Lee Sin taken away here. Sugar loves Lee Sin. He loves to make big plays early game. We have seen Cyanide play a lot of Lee Sin as well. It's going to be interesting to see, though, if Sadic's actually going to pick up his Aatrox, which he started playing again after Worlds.
Well, I have to say, the obvious, really, looking at this one, where's Mundo, where's Shyvana?
That's actually a good question. Fnatic has the option to pick both at this point. I don't expect him to do so. I expect him to have the Trundle pick ready in case Alliance should pick up one of them. But Alliance doesn't seem to favor Shyvana that high. She's been one of the most contested picks of all, and we saw in the last game, they actually went straight for Renekton, even though Shyvana was also open.
Well, we'll see here. And actually, we talked about not really seeing Leona earlier on, and as if by magic she appears, it's going to be in a Leona Jinx lane for Fnatic.
And this is a kill lane. At level 6, if you manage to land a CC from Leona, combined with the ultimate from Jinx, you have so much burst potential and damage. I absolutely love this lane, and I expect Alliance to be very careful at level 6.
And we saw it in Fnatic's first game of the day against Gambit. Jinx, Annie, similar kind of thing. Level 6 Tabzz is in there, super mega death rocket follows up. Easy double kill for Rekkles in that game. On the other side though, Shyvana and Mundo again still open from this one, and currently Alliance hovering over that Shyvana, which with Lee Sin in there, you might expect that to go in the jungle, but at the same time, you know, Froggen's played lane, Lee Sin. I'm not going to say it's going to be happening in the top lane there, and in the end, they actually go for Thresh there for Nyph.
Thresh is pretty much the only support you have left right now. He's really good versus lone lane. He's not exactly going to kill her, but he's a very safe versus her. He has his Lantern if she does engage, and if he has a fast Lantern out, you can actually click it before the stun runs down from Leona's ultimate. So generally, Thresh is like the go-to support when you're against Leona. But I will say Fnatic so far, also because they have Jinx and Rekkles, has such a good positioning in team fights that the Jinx will fit him really well, and he doesn't really need the dash or the lack of the dash that Jinx has. So right now for Fnatic, I think he's looking very strong, and if they do pick up, let's say, a Dr. Mundo, or you could also just say Renekton.
Or a Renekton, which is now being hovered over, and the Vi as well. And now Fnatic went for this, sorry, it was Alliance that went for this exact combo in their game earlier on, where they lost to the Copenhagen Wolves. They had the Renekton in the top lane, and the Vi in the jungle. Cyanide played Vi as well against Gambit earlier on.
Yeah, Vi right now is one of the strongest picks. You have a lot of damage throughout the entire game. You can build full tanking and still do quite some damage late game, and you have the perfect engage combined with Leona. If he locks down a target with Vi and Leona follows up with her ultimate, you're CC'd for about 3 seconds and you're pretty much dead.
On the other side then, we saw Tabzz' mechanical skill a lot last year actually with the AD carries. Even in their last game that they lost, of course, to the Copenhagen Wolves, we saw him picking up first blood with a 90 caliber net, so that just kind of shows you that he's got that kind of side down. This time looks like they may go for the Vayne. How safe is that Vayne though in a lane where you have got Leona and Jinx who put in that mega damage on a whip?
Now Vayne itself is very hard to lane versus something like a Jinx, but the fact you have so much mobility, especially with your Q, means you can actually dodge out of Leona and a lot of her like long-range engage. And this means at level 6, if Leona misses her ultimate, you can actually go in for the fight with Vayne because you have high damage, you have your Thresh to back you up if something should go wrong, and at the same time now Leona already missed her ultimate, starting for me, the Vayne pick makes sense, but it's a little bit risky, but we'll see how it goes.
Tumble in at the right time and not throwing you tumble out before the ultimate comes in there. On the other side, we saw them hovering over Mordekaiser, but that was YellOwStaR. We're not falling for any of that. In the end, though, that pick was, in fact, the Ziggs.
And this gives Fnatic wave clear to this combo. The only thing they lacked before was wave clear. Overall, Fnatic's combo has so much potential. Like they have good late game damage. Both Ziggs and Jinx scales really well into late game. Vi is a good late game jungler. Outscales actually Sin. And at the same time, okay, Renekton is gonna fall behind versus Shyvana the longer the game goes. But you'll have so many other options late game. I actually really like this Fnatic combo.
I just want to ask you here in this scenario, because Fnatic are on a high. They won their first game against Gambit nonetheless. Alliance lost to one of the new teams here in the LCS. What are these two teams feeling right now? I mean, Alliance must still be having a bit of a downer after game 1.
I think Alliance probably wasn't too happy about the combo they ran in the last game. It was too easy to counter for Copenhagen Wolves. But at the same time, I mean, Alliance is an experienced team. Sure, the members haven't been together for too long, but all the players, we've seen them before. They've been in the scene for some time. Maybe not Shook, but even he's been in the challenge scene for over half a year. So I don't think they feel too much pressure. I think they want to go in here now and show that the first game was just a mistake from them, and now they will redeem them and beat Fnatic. So I think actually Alliance is very motivated and not nervous at all.
Well, Deficio, let's have a look what the fans think about this game and who's going to come away with the win. And it actually looks like the majority of you are saying Fnatic will take this one. It's a pretty close one, though, at 58% of the vote.
I will agree. After seeing the combos right here, I definitely like Fnatic's combo. Not saying Alliance isn't a strong combo, but for me, if Fnatic manages to get the 2v2 lane, manage to land some CC on Vayne and instant kill her and then lock her down early game, they will actually be in a very good position to transition to mid game and maybe keep snowballing from there.
Well, here we go then. It's Alliance versus Fnatic here. A second game that both of these teams are going to be playing today. And an important one for both of them. I mean, this is what we've been touting as a top-of-the-table clash. And come the end of the season, when you're looking at playoffs and who's going where, it's games like this that can count.
It's definitely games like this. We saw it last split. It was so close. One win from one team could have changed the whole table around. So right now, Alliance want to go in and get the win, so they're 1-1. And Fnatic obviously want to extend their lead.
So let's have a look here at the early game. And, you know, things since we've moved into the preseason patch slowed down at level 1 in terms of entering the enemy jungle, although Gambit might have something to say about that after their level 1 earlier on, but I think we can expect a more pensive start here, surely.
Generally, the fact that you can at 130 put down your trinket wards means that scouting is a lot more safer, and also most teams actually prefer it, because if you do fall behind early game, which there's a high chance you do if you do invade when there's a ward at 130, means that you have a very hard time coming back. And now, at the same time, why would you actually risk it? That's the question.
Well, I'll tell you what, Shook has managed to land a good couple of Qs here onto YellOwStaR, which has given them vision without putting any vision down. Always a bonus at the start of things. YellOwStaR backs away. We hit the 130 mark, and we can see those trinkets all being put into action. Basically means a big line of wards across the entire map. And look at this. We can see Alliance already moving their duo down into the bottom lane. They're going to get there earlier.
I would expect to actually see Shook focus out on the bot lane in the start to help Tabzz and Nyph out. Because if they manage to get the level 6 and then choose the right fight, they could actually fight back versus Jinx and Leona. But beforehand, Jinx versus Vayne, Jinx is going to have a lot of free time to trade and a lot of free time to CS.
Well, there is Shook just getting himself that blue buff. Was helped a little bit by Wickd in this top lane on Shyvana. And we're not so used to seeing Wickd playing this Shyvana. It's usually him on the Renekton.
Yeah, but I'm actually glad he decided to pick up the Shyvana for once. And I'm excited to see how he's actually going to build it. Is he going to go the same way they did with the Renekton, or is he just going to go full tank?
And we can see there already a bit of bullying going on in this bottom lane. YellOwStaR taking a couple of hits from Tabzz as they try to keep this pressure high on that bottom lane. And we'll see about that one as Wickd and sOAZ here having a little bit of a headbutt. And talk to us about the, the progression of this top lane, the Renekton versus Shyvana. At what point, or who is strongest at this point, and does it switch?
Renekton definitely has the advantage early game, and all the way up to like level 9, 10-ish, where you normally see the Sunfire being completed. Once the Sunfire is completed on Shyvana, then Renekton is going to lose a lot of his damage, and Shyvana is going to start actually out-pushing him and out-trading him in the 1v1s.
And that bottom lane, just want to touch on items there. Your speciality, of course, as a former support player, both going door and shield. What advantages and disadvantages has that got at this point in the game compared to something like the coin or the relic shield?
Now, I'm a bit surprised actually that YellOwStaR didn't go for the relic shield, and then him and Rekkles started in the lane at 155. Just like Nyph and Tabzz did. The reason Nyph and Tabzz is ahead in XP and actually shoved the lane up now is because they started in the lane at 155. They managed to kill the first few minions and start slow push towards the enemy. If Leona had Relic Shield at this point, she could actually shove the lane back and try and give back some XP advantage for Fnatic. But overall, Dawn Shield is very safe. It's good if you want to all in and you don't really, like, just for the general all-ins actually, it's very good.
So that CS in the bottom lane, currently at 8, the advantage of Tabzz, doing a very good job down there. The mid lane, which we've just seen here really for the first time, is going to be visited by Shook, who's currently sat with double buffs running on him, but can he get in towards Peke, who of course still has a flash available? He's going to try and maybe work his way around the back. Peke actually spotted him there from that ward, and he's going to get himself into a position where he gets queued, but the good old satchel charge will get him back to the tower.
Beautiful play by Peke there. He actually baits Shook into thinking there's not a ward. That's why he keeps staying forward, and we have reports. But he stayed forward, and then simply telling Shook, I don't have a ward, you know, you can try and gank. But in the end, he had everything under control. He managed to jump out when Shook actually came in, and just wasted some time for Shook.
Well, hopefully this pause will be just a short one and we can get the game back underway here in just a second. But up until now, we're 4 minutes and 20 in. No first blood, of course, no towers taken down. The gold, 200 in the advantage of Fnatic right now. And you know, sOAZ, he's out farming in the top lane, as is xPeke in the mid lane. Everything going to plan in your eyes so far from both these teams?
I have to talk a little about the bot lane, because for me it's surprising that Fnatic actually led Nyph and Tabzz be in the lane at 155 and start the whole push, and then that way get the early advantage, because what you had to do for them was to make sure Vayne didn't get going in the start. Now, Vayne had a slight XP advantage. She was in the lane first, got a few CS, which meant that now Vayne actually is ahead in CS. I expect it to turn around though, and Jinx is going to come back and probably even it out, maybe even get ahead by around level 4 and 5.
Well, we can see there the admin's behind what looks to be Rekkles maybe, who's having a problem. So that should be sorted out here in just a couple of moments when he joins himself back into the game. But for the fact that we've had, you know, no real jungle pressure from either side, just Shook really in that mid lane coming in there, where can we expect a possible first blood to come down in this match?
Well, the Gragas Lee Sin combo at level 6 when Gragas is level 6 is really, really strong. And I expect Shook to stay around the mid lane, try and maybe pressure a little bit more, force maybe Cyanide to come in and actually for a 2v2 fight where Gragas is really strong, and especially level 6 he's very, very strong, and then try and pick up an early kill. Or we could simply see the junglers go for bot lane, try and force something there. Leona is very good at setting up ganks, and at the same time Thresh is also very good with the lantern. So for me, it's either in the bot lane or in the mid lane.
Well, there's certainly a few decisions to be made there about who's going to be focusing, or who's going to be the focus really for those junglers in particular, you have to think at this point of it. And we heard in the video before the game, Peke saying, you know, Froggen is really the man to watch on this Alliance team. And from that, you kind of just work out that's who they're going to kill as much as they can.
Of course, I mean, Froggen is pretty much the star of the old lineup, and he's the only guy, you know, him and Wickd, he was the guy who made the team now. So for me, watching Froggen play, he must have a lot of pressure on him actually, because he was the guy who said, I want a new lineup, I want to do this, this and this. And if this lineup should fail, it actually falls back on Froggen.
Look at this, we've just actually seen Cyanide vault breaker over the wall into that brush there. But look at Shook's read, he is on the bottom side of the map as well, which means that both junglers are going to be in position down in this bottom lane. There comes the lantern, can they get in for the kill here? Leona going to dive in, but actually he's gone a little bit too far here as Shook. There's a lot of damage coming down on both sides. Tabzz going to tumble away, and funnily enough, no one going down.
The traps almost activated on Shook. He managed to flash out in time. Had he been trapped there, he would have died and given the first one to Fnatic. Great counter gang coming in from Cyanide, but also a great gank from Shook in the first place.
Crazy little start to this for the you know, the slow opening few minutes that we've had from it. One thing that Fnatic have achieved here though is they've pushed that lane all the way back now, a lane which was pushed onto their tower just a few moments ago.
but at the same time, they're still behind in CS. The whole early advantage that Vayne got is still hitting them. If Vayne can keep doing this all the way up to level 6, the lane is actually going to start being more even, unless YellOwStaR manages to catch either Nyph or Tabzz out in an engage and just go all in.
So we're seeing the first recalls of the game coming down, and we see that Rekkles going for that Vamp Scepter here, and that's going to give him a bit more staying power in this lane. And we'll see what Tabzz goes for on the other side, as he will be headed back here soon along with his support, and there it is, a Vamp Scepter for him as well.
Pretty standard pick up for both AD carries. None of them had enough gold to purchase, like say, an early BF sword. So they simply go for the safe pick, the Vamp Scepter. I expect both AD carries to go into a Bloodthirster. And generally, it just means right now the lane for them. I mean, obviously for Tabzz, he wants to farm, but also for Rekkles, he wants to avoid going too low, so he can't really go in for the full engages.
So earlier on, we touched on the fact that neither support had gone for those gold items, as Wickd just taking a bit more harassment up there. But actually, on the return, Nyph did pick up the Relic Shield.
Interesting enough, normally you start with the Relic Shield, you don't pick it up later, unless you want to fully complete it into a Heart of the Mountain, which is the item where you give a shield to an ally that takes some of your HP and gives like 20% of your max HP into a shield. If he opts to complete it, it's a bit strange build, but I can definitely see it work when you have Vayne you want to protect.
Oh, they're going in for Wickd here, the bomb coming over the side from xPeke, but Wickd had already got himself out of there thanks to his ultimate, but he's actually going to get pushed here underneath the turret. sOAZ is putting all the damage down. He tanks it up. There's a satchel charge jump away from xPeke, and there will be the first blood from Fnatic. Shook can't follow in for any more damage. Nicely executed.
Great play from Fnatic right here. They know that sOAZ has the pressure early game. They know that sOAZ can pressure down Wickd to the tower and then roam up, and you can actually do a 2v1 dive on him and kill him. Bit surprised though that Froggen let xPeke just roam away freely, especially because Cyanide could just come into the mid lane and pick up the farm, and Fnatic actually lost nothing on it.
Now again, down onto this bottom lane, been a bit of a focus for us because there has been that tug of war going on in terms of where the minions have been left positioned, but this could change things once again. Cyanide headed down towards that bottom lane. This time Shook's not there to help out Alliance, and there was the flay back, and that's the reaction you need to have as a Thresh to stop the Leona coming in on him.
And this is why Thresh is really good versus Leona. Perfect play by Nyph. He completely stopped the engage. Had he been caught right there, he would have been locked down, and then Cyanide would have flashed ulted in and maybe picked up the kill.
Well, Cyanide is still waiting there in that brush, so he's still thinking that he may get an opportunity to actually get over onto either Nyph or Tabzz, but you can see that the Alliance bot lane not really pushing out from safety, and in the meantime, Shook is taking advantage of this one and going for a red buff steal.
Shook must have expected Cyanide to be bot lane at this point, and simply said, I'm just going to go for this red buff. It's not warded. Alliance didn't know if Cyanide was actually there, but great play by Shook. He was around the area, he checked it with his Sonic Wave, and then simply just went in and took it. Smart play.
And there is xPeke showing his mastery of Ziggs and throwing down that satchel charge just to clear out the low HP minions. Cyanide thought he was going to face check in there, but wisely using that trinket to get a ward down. Spots both Shook and Froggen stealing away the race.
And Froggen talked about this in the interview before we even started today, about how him and Shook had this great synergy together, about how they instantly, as they started playing together, they just felt it. They finger-like, and I expect to see them do more and more of these 2v2 plays and try to put up some, or start some 2v2 fights with Cyanide and xPeke.
Now, one thing I want to talk to you about here is Vayne, because if we look back to last year, it was always, it's deadly for a Vayne to get ahead. Now that we've heard, and a lot of the pro players have said it again, that the AD carries have become a little less valuable. Let's forget that, because xPeke being pushed away. It's a good flash in the end from him to get back to safety. But back to my other point, that AD carries might not be quite as impactful in terms of damage in the team fights later on. But how dangerous is it still for that Vayne to be ahead here?
Now, Vayne is still one of the best AD carries late game in the game, and she is perfect versus this tanky meta. The only reason you normally don't see too much of a Vayne is because the current strong AD carries like Lucian and Caitlyn. Oh wait, we see a fight.
Yeah, we see the push in there, the push back onto YellOwStaR. His ultimate not really landing, but they've managed to lock down Tabzz. Assault and Battery comes in, but he's pretty healthy still. Shook goes low, kicks Cyanide away, and he will actually be able to stay alive at least for now. Rekkles flashes off, barrels flying over his way, and xPeke chasing down there nicely. The last man in the jungle was Shook. He's headed back up north, and in the end, it's a 1-for-1 with a dragon going over to Alliance.
Tabzz actually got caught in the middle of everything right there, but he managed to tumble to safety and stay alive. At the same time, Shook kicked YellOwStaR into the box of Thresh and killed him. Beautiful play. He didn't manage to survive though. He was caught behind enemy lines. So be it.
And let's have another look at that one in slow-mo and just check out exactly how that happened. Look at Tabzz' position.
Notice Tabzz right here. He actually stays in the middle of everything, gets caught by YellOwStaR, and then ulted. But there's no follow-up damage. The rocket comes too late from Rekkles. He doesn't hit him, and boom. Instead, Shook makes the play, kicks YellOwStaR into the box, and it's a 1-for-1. But Alliance managed to pick up the dragon.
And at the end there, Shook's Q almost hitting Rekkles as well. He would have followed through there and probably picked up that kill, but either way, that ends in a 1-for-1, and we see Alliance now going back about their normal route with Shook taking his red buff. Fnatic have pushed his bottom lane up completely. Both AD carries in that fight got an assist apiece, but it is still Tabzz that holds a 10 CS lead.
And he has a big wave at the tower right now. He's going to pick up all the CS. Things are looking very good for Tabzz right now in Alliance. But on the other hand, the combo Fnatic has is really good at locking down a Vayne, especially if Vi can just lock himself onto Vayne. If they can follow up that with Leona, they can keep his stun locked.
Well, we saw the damage wasn't quite enough for him that time, despite the mispositioning, maybe you'd say, from Tabzz getting caught out right in the middle of them. And that'll be, well, he'll be thanking his lucky stars for that one, that they couldn't follow through with the kill. And there's a Lantern just to check the brush, and wisely so, because YellOwStaR was waiting inside of there. We can see that the Cutlass has now been finished off for Tabzz, along with those Berserker Greaves as well. So he's going to start to hit a little bit harder. Jinx in a similar position as well with the pickaxe now.
Well, if we look at this right now, once the Blade of the Ruined King gets finished by Tabzz, he's going to be able to actually 1v1 Rekkles. Small fight from Wickd and Cyanide here, nothing really happening, but back to the point. When Blade of the Ruined King is finished from Tabzz, he can actually 1v1 Jinx and force Jinx away from her farm and maybe force Fnatic to teamfight a bit more. Alliance right now has the potential with Wickd and with Tabzz to split push 2 lanes and then keep 3 people in the middle. Gragas can wave there forever. Maybe we will see Alliance actually do a 1-3-1, which is basically where you keep Shyvana top lane or Vayne, and then you have the 3 people in mid. Gragas is wave clearing, and then you have Tabzz in the bot lane. Oh, good ultimate coming in.
Comboing that nicely there. Peke going fairly low. There's a dragon from behind. Peke under the tower. He's going to fall. Wickd picks up that one, and another greatly executed move from Alliance this time.
Great play by Wickd. He did actually get spotted by Fnatic early on, but he just stepped back a little bit and then actually came back into dive. Great play by Wickd. He has to flash here, sadly, but great play overall.
Well, we also saw Shook down in that bottom lane. The turret already down to half HP, but YellOwStaR always a threat underneath that turret with his ultimate available and the CC chain that he can throw in there. But at some point, they realize, you know what, we're going to have to back away from this one. There's no one to help us. Shook can come in there and cause us all kinds of problems, and they've got the damage out of Tabzz as well, and that's going to mean the first tower of the game here going for Alliance.
And this is perfect for Alliance. They need the towers, the outer turrets out, so they can actually split push even easier. Vayne right now, if she catches Jinx in the middle of the lane without any tower to protect her, can just chase her down and kill her. So things are looking great for Alliance right now.
There we see a blue buff stealing. Start maybe to a bit of strangulation from the Alliance side. Cyanide making a bit of a move of his own though, and actually in the end it looks like they will be trading these blue buffs over.
For me right now though, the big question is for Fnatic, how are they gonna go from here? First of all, they need to teamfight and try and lock down the Vayne. They won't be able to kill them right now in their respective lanes. Shyvana already started to really pressure on the top lane. We saw her farming behind the towers before, and we can lock her down. And at the same time, if Vi comes up, they won't even be able to kill her. So right now, Fnatic needs, when the next dragon comes up, to start a 5v5, lock down the Vayne, and instant kill her, and then win the fight and get the dragon.
Oh, Wickd just stopping sOAZ from recalling there, running in with that burnout going, and takes a bit of damage for his pleasure, but he'll be happy, if nothing else, to annoy sOAZ there on the top.
More or less just annoying him again. Right now in the top lane, there's no kill potential for any of them. They're just going to farm and farm and farm, but Wickd is happy with this because Shyvana will outscale Renekton. So, right now, we can actually just wait for the dragon to come up, and then hopefully Fnatic wants to fight, and we can actually get a really exciting game going.
Well, those exciting moments might not be too far away as we saw Vayne headed back there from the recoil, and there is that Blade of the Ruined King picked up for Tabzz, who we talked about his CS hovering around 10 pretty much the entire game, has now grown massively to a 30 CS lead.
Things are looking absolutely perfect for Tabzz right now. He loves to play Vayne, he loves to make a big plays late game, and we just talked about before the game how Tabzz could carry a game if needed. And right now, coming up here to the top lane, if sOAZ actually stays, he might die.
Yeah, and he's actually going to see both Tabzz coming in there. Wickd actually going to move in closer, and sOAZ in all kinds of trouble from this one. He's going to try and head south, and that's a brilliant flash from sOAZ. He manages to escape from 3 men in his own lane.
Perfect flash from sOAZ right there. Flashing that wall is really hard. There's only one spot you can stand at to actually flash over it. Otherwise, you're just going to flash straight into the wall, and he would have died.
And most of us have done that in the past, Officio, me included. Only once, though, I think it was. And there's a bomb coming in from Ziggs just to clear out that top wave and force Tabzz to take a turret hit before he backs off. And Alliance are kind of stuck in between the 2 turrets in that top lane, while Fnatic start to push a little down the middle.
While it's a good use of ultimate from xPeke, it actually forces Alliance to stay top right now to take the tower, meaning Fnatic can take the dragon instead. If Fnatic had just taken the tower, Alliance had taken the tower for free, they might have been able to move down to mid lane to fight for the dragon here. But great call by Fnatic and great use of ultimate from xPeke, giving them the dragon.
Oh, Shook actually decided to come for this one, which may actually cause him a death. He kicks back the Vi and will end up heading over towards the golems just to stay safe from that one, but dangerously low. Thought he would have a bit of a go onto the Dragon Steel. That didn't work out for him. A nice pickup coming down in the end for Fnatic, but that top wave, as you said, tower going down in response, and they're still up there without a response till now.
It doesn't look like Alliance actually want to push this tower simply because they're afraid of getting ganked from behind, but if xPeke didn't clear the wave before, right now Alliance could actually hit him both. Good ultimate coming from Froggen.
Wow, everything really landing from Froggen there. The belly slam going to be locking him down. That's a good flash away from xPeke. Ultimate is going to come out there. It's not got enough damage. The Ignite was thrown onto him by Froggen as well. Neither of them falling in that fight though. Close stuff.
The barrier from xPeke saved his life. Great use of barrier and great use of flash to flash the body slam, otherwise he would have died. Nice play by xPeke, but also very nice play by Froggen. He has all the pressure in this mid lane right now and forcing xPeke back whenever he wants to.
Let's have a look at this top lane. sOAZ is waiting inside of the brush here. Tabzz, Blade of the Ruin King. Actually, ultimate use here from sOAZ. He's going to go for this one, but will he be able to take down Tabzz? And more importantly, will Tabzz even outfight him in this one? Tabzz going to do a lot of damage to him. Will he be able to finish him off? There's the dive back. Ignites her down. Oh! sOAZ gets it just about. 80 health remaining. Incredible play.
Wow, and Tabzz really hates himself right now. He had every chance to get this kill, but he went in too deep. We see Wickd getting caught though.
Yeah, talking about deep, Wickd is in all kinds of trouble here up by the Wolves, but is he really? His Shyvana turns around and does the damage to Cyanide, who in turn backs away himself, and he will just walk away from that, leaving not only a low HP man, Jinx recalling in the bottom lane, but now 4 men from Alliance pushing and taking the outer middle turret.
Even the amazing wave lead from Ziggs couldn't hold this turret. But let's go back to the top one. Tabzz actually tumbles into the tower, takes a hit, and therefore dies. Almost for him, but he can 1v1 Renekton. We just saw it right here. If he didn't tumble into the tower, he would have killed him, and that signals dangerous stuff for Fnatic.
And we talked about his amazing mechanics, and well, they were if the turret wasn't there, I suppose, from that. And sOAZ, knowing that he's might be in a little bit of danger there, decides, you know what, I should probably run away from this tower at this point. We do see Froggen starting to wander up into this top lane, but he's not going to be in range to really do anything and stop sOAZ there, just checking out those brushes. Meanwhile, blue buffs have spawned in once again, this time Fnatic, who had their blue buff stolen last time around and countered that with a steal of alliances, will once again reset that and get their own back.
Now, I'm just looking at the items. We see sOAZ actually went for a Cutlass. Will he go for Blade of the Ruin King simply to be able to 1v1 Vayne better? Or is he going for this simply for teamfight damage? If it was for teamfights, I would expect it maybe a Bloodthirster or, you know, a Brutalizer simply for some more damage. But overall, I think he just wants to be able to 1v1 Vayne better, and this actually might be a very good call from him.
Well, certainly a high-action game. I say that, we're 20 minutes in, it's only 5 kills, but certainly in terms of positioning and movement around the map, it's been very, very intense on that front of Cyanide. Just powering up here. Will he go in for Wickd? He's certainly thinking about it, and why not? There are 4 men there from Fnatic. They're going to try and bait them in, and they're doing a good job of it. The Leona ultimate is going to get flashed away from there by Nyph. Good reaction, and Alliance managed to survive that one.
Great reaction from Nyph right here. Flashing the ultimate, nothing really happens from it. sOAZ actually has a very interesting style of playing the Renekton. He always pops the ultimate in the bush, and then he engages for maximum burst. I like the way he's playing it, but overall right here, good play by Nyph. Stops the whole engage. It was a 4v3 for Fnatic. Smart play.
And if anyone knows Nyph in this game, it's probably YellOwStaR at this point. Former AD carry pair, of course, over at SK Gaming when they qualified into Season 3. As Froggen here thought he was going to get caught out, but I shouldn't have underestimated the fact that Shook is coming around, and there's a big barrel to xPeke's face. That will tie up the kills at 3-3, and there is the red buff. Shook took it away the last time. Is he going to challenge for it again?
It definitely looks like he wants to at least force a smite from Cyanide, so sOAZ does not pick up the red buff. If sOAZ picks up the... Oh, is he front coming? They might actually fight for this.
Actually going not low enough for the smite at this point. There's the barrel going down. They're going to try and combo that, and it will be stolen away by Shook. The hook won't land from Nyph, and Fnatic walk away, but losing that red buff a second time in a row.
And this red buff was actually very important. Had sOAZ picked it up, he would have been able to 1v1 versus Tabzz. Right now, if Alliance decides to go back to the split pushing, there's no red buff on sOAZ, which means he won't be able to 1v1 either Tabzz or actually Wickd, who's in the top lane now.
Well, next thing coming up into play here for contestants, surely going to be Dragon. 1 minute until that one actually spawns in. We can see that Alliance actually starting to recall somewhat from around that middle area, going to be picking up a few more items. So let's look at them. The Rabadon's Death Cap is now done for Froggen. Also, along with that, Athene's Unholy Grail. Currently stronger than what Ziggs has to offer, but something tells me that xPeke is actually sat on a lot of gold. Actually, he's not sat on a lot of gold. All I'm telling complete lies.
Right now for Froggen, once he finishes the Void Staff, he's going to have so much burst damage to bring in. xPeke slightly behind, but at the same time... Oh, Gragas coming in.
Ooh, Cyanide coming in. They're going to chain the ultis. The box goes down from Nyph, but, well, it's not really going to stop anything as they throw everything that they've got over at the support player. And is that going to be enough here to force their way into another middle turret?
Froggen isn't there. He just recalled from the bot lane. They will take this turret for free. And this is why we see Vi is so strong. Even if you flash her ultimate, does nothing. Once she sticks to you, if you get caught out of position, you're dead. That's it. Beautiful play from Fnatic. And they managed to pick up tower and almost even in gold now.
Headed up towards the Baron area there. The pings were going down, but they've got the wards in. And they won't make an attempt for Baron at this time. We're only 22.5 minutes into this game. That fight leaving a few guys up, so probably not the wisest choice for it. But Dragon is up, and Alliance are in position on that.
Free Dragon right now for Alliance. Fnatic was pretty healthy. They could have fought for it. There was no Vi ultimate, no. But that was about it. Sorry, Ziggs doesn't have ultimate either. But they decided to give it free. It's a bit weird for me. I actually think they could have at least stalled it and maybe waited for their ultimate to come up. But nonetheless, they don't want to take the chance.
Oh, Froggen is waiting off why the walls. Actually was spotted by a ward there. I think this entire time was scanned out by Nyph so that they could clear that one. And now they start to push that lane up towards the inner turret. A little bit dangerous as Nyph just throws that lantern down. Actually, we are going to see them backing off here as the recall is popped by Tabzz.
Now, Alliance has the map control in Fnatic's jungle. Now also, Alliance has the opportunity to split push with Shyvana, who's going to beat Renekton 1v1, and split push with Vayne, who's going to beat Jinx 1v1, and then keep Gragas in the mid lane simply to wave clear. I'm not sure why Alliance isn't doing it at this point, because they have the wards for it, or they had at least. They can just go in and put them now. And at the same time, they have all the tools for it.
That's the interesting fight. Finally, we see Wickd and sOAZ going head-to-head once again. Wickd got the better of that one at this point in terms of the creep score. Plus, both sat on a killer piece, and both got a cutlass in there now.
Now, again, as we talk about the split push, Fnatic has the ability to force team fights with Leona and Vi, and also force picks on champions. If Vi goes to top lane, together with a Ziggs, for instance, and ultimates on Shyvana, they might be able to have what it takes to take it down, but in about 10 minutes, when Shyvana is even more tankier, it's going to be harder. So Fnatic right now, I feel like for them, it's a bit of a ticking bomb, because Alliance is just going to get stronger and stronger in the split pushes.
Well, what's the answer to that then? Is my question.
The answer right now for Fnatic is to make plays now. It's for them to go and catch either Tabzz or Shyvana, while Shyvana doesn't have any magic resist, for instance. Ziggs can kill her right now. Once she finishes the Spirit Visage, probably after she's gone into, let's say now, depending on what he's going to build with this Giant's belt, but once she picks up the Spirit Visage on Shyvana, Ziggs won't be able to kill her, and that signals kind of not the end for Fnatic, but when it's going to be really, really hard for them to deal with Shyvana. Right now they have the chance though, especially because Wickd has decided to go for Bedroom King.
I was going to say, it's maybe a little bit lucky for Fnatic that Wicked's not headed up that path, at least for now. We've just seen a pink ward put down for Alliance there. on top of Baron, so they want to make sure they've got that in clear vision. The gold currently sits at a 2,000 difference, 3-2 in turrets, 4-3 in kills though the other way in favor of Fnatic, and we can see that Alliance just clearing out as much as they can here on the in terms of vision on that top side of the map by the Baron.
The big advantage gold-wise right now is in the junglers. Sugar's about 1.5k gold ahead of Vi, and also Cyanide has decided to go a bit more damage route, which means that when he actually engages a team fight, it's going to be very easy for Tabzz to kill him very fast.
Top side, YellOwStaR just headed up there to offer a little bit of cover, but Alliance are thinking about making a play over towards the Wraiths there. The Cyanide spots that early enough, didn't have to use his smite in the end, but this red buff being a big point of contention actually from both teams. And once again, Shook is hanging around to try and cause a few problems. It's going to go low. Is it enough low for the smite? And it will be made so. And Cyanide this time gets it, and that's a little victory for him.
Small victory for Cyanide. Good for him, he actually got the red buff, but Fnatic wanted to be on sOAZ so he could stop the space, which we see Engage coming on sOAZ.
Yeah, sOAZ actually getting caught out a little bit here, but Alliance not really falling for that one. Don't want to throw too much at the tanky Renekton, and in the end we saw Froggen taking that lantern back to safety, and Wickd left on the top side of things. But again, vision control by the Baron all belongs to Alliance at this point of things, using those scans to try and clear things out, and they're going to start off the Baron.
So this is one of the reasons he went for Play of the Rune King, gives him more damage on the Nashor, and they will actually be able to 2v2 this unless Fnatic reacts. sOAZ comes out, he's probably going to ward it. He doesn't even have a ward actually, he can't even ward it, he's just running close to it.
And there is the bomb going to come down. That should stop them. There's a box going in. Actually, Froggen going to fall low. He throws out the barrel here before he will surely go down. Actually, he's walked away to the back, but he will go down. It's sOAZ that picks up that one in the end. Lots of people with blinking red health bars, but only one death in the end.
And right now, again, Fnatic managed to pick up a kill. That's what we talked about, but they can't really transition into anything. Dragon wasn't up. Nashor right now is not possible for them to take 5v4. So for Fnatic, they can just keep stalling this game as long as they want, but Alliance is going to get stronger and stronger, especially Tabzz.
Especially Tabzz, who at this point has that Phantom Dancer added into his Blade of the Ruined King, and does have a 1,200 gold bounty in his pocket to be spending the next time that he does decide that it's time to go shopping. The other side, Static Shiv and the Bloodthirster for Jinx, looking like the Last Whisper is coming up next.
It feels like right now, though, Fnatic is waiting for Alliance to make their move. They want Alliance to start a Baron and then try and force a fight down there. Fnatic doesn't really have the tools to move too far out of their own base and maybe set up a play themselves. So they're simply just waiting for Alliance. And I feel it's a pretty good tactic for them right now because they can actually pick up some kills and maybe later in the game go for a Baron.
Well, xPeke has gone on towards his top lane. Continuing here, our Alliance to pull out those wards. Actually, scanning right on top of each other there, really. And that sweeping lens. And Fnatic now head back down after losing those wards to make sure that they can check things out and not lose anything in the long run. They now get positional advantage on Baron right at the front, but with the fact that Tabzz is down at the bottom, they may fancy going for something here 5v4, but the fact is Alliance have managed to stall that out long enough with Tabzz able then to come across. But Alliance, they're moving through the jungle here. They're going to try and cut them off.
And Fnatic is caught out of position. There are two people top lane taking the tower there. Shook comes in now for the dive. He doesn't even go for it, but they can take this mid tower pretty much for free. Or, actually, one of them has to recall and wait clear, otherwise Jinx might even take two towers over there together with Cyanide.
Yeah, there are actually a couple of minions pushing in for them on that one. Cyanide tanky enough to dodge a couple of hits. There's the ultimate used out of Peke. He will satchel charge back off to safety, and Rekkles has finished off that tower in the top lane, but the mid inner turret goes down. Are we going to see them keep pushing for this one? Fnatic actually pushing out of their base to try and stop the recalls happening. Froggen will manage to get back from it though, but that tower is going down. Will they be able to finish the inhib from this one? Froggen's going to have to throw everything at him to stop it.
Froggen can't even go in for this one. If he goes in, he's gonna die. Free inhib coming from Fnatic. Beautiful play. They use Ziggs to wave clear in their own base with both his ultimate and everything he has, and he stalls Alliance for long enough for Rekkles and Cyanide to pick off the inhib. Beautiful play.
Really impressive stuff. Alliance here just backing off to get themselves a dragon, which won't be contested by Fnatic right now. That's a nice little pickup for them in the grand scheme of things. They still hold a lead in terms of gold. That was their third dragon of this game, but if you look at the gold, to 100, maybe 150 or so at this point in their favor, which is just not a lot of gold.
I have to question Alliance's decision though to not use Vayne to split push at this point. Yes, she died to sOAZ top lane once because she tumbled into the tower. She would have killed him otherwise and won that 1v1. They have the tools right now again to split push. They have the tools to not go into these weird decisions where Fnatic can decide what's going to happen. So for me, Alliance is misplaying that combo, and right now, it's hurting them.
Both AD carries now have that last whisper added in there. That was happened to Jinx Rekkles after he did that naughty push down the top lane and took away the inhibitor in a single swoop along with Cyanide. And again, we come back to that old making sure that the Baron is warded up. Alliance actually utilizing the pink wards once again on the front side of it to make sure that they keep that vision control.
Alliance's vision control this game has been absolutely amazing. They always kept more than 2 wards in Fnatic's red side of the jungle, which meant they always had pretty good control of where Fnatic was moving, and at the same time also if Fnatic was moving for the dragon, or even set up their own attempt they had earlier to, as they do now, to take a 2-man dragon, or Baron, sorry.
Well, Cyanide does have a ward this time around as he just pops one over the top, but that's swiftly cleared away, and this pink ward's going to get rid of all the wards that Fnatic can actually throw down there. I think wisely there from Alliance, they actually decide, you know what, let's not keep doing that one at this point because, well, we do have Froggen in the mid lane, not really in a position to join us. Fnatic have grouped as 5, and they actually start to push down, and Tabzz thought about going up towards that top lane there. I think that would have been a mistake, decided not to show himself.
But Gragas still has great wave clear for Alliance. He's going to be able to hold the wave pretty much away from the tower at any point of the game right now when he has so much AP. At the same time though, Fnatic has the advantage that Ziggs can use his ultimate to clear the waves in the side lanes and make sure that they will always push in favor of Fnatic, like we see the top lane doing right now, mainly also due to the inhib being down, of course.
YellOwStaR got bored of that pink ward, by the way. He finally said, guys, push out mid lane so I can kill this damn pink ward. And they've been clearing out everything we throw in there just because of that. And actually now Fnatic are the ones that have vision control on that front side of the Baron pit. Actually, Alliance have vision at the backside, which doesn't really help them at this point. And they're trying to pull him in here. Do Fnatic want to fight? I mean, look at the base right now. We've got super minions pushing through. It's going to force recalls from Alliance.
If Alliance actually goes through with these recalls, Fnatic will be able to take Baron. We see Pekka being caught out.
Yeah, he's caught out from this one. Tabzz should be able to finish him off, and he will finish him off. The bomb went down to clear out the minions down by the bottom. The Super Mega Death Rocket not connecting, but Rekkles manages to get over the wall. Pekka actually killing off Nyph there from his deathbed, basically. And that leaves us with 3 men alive on both teams. And I'll tell you what, Super Minions are still on the base. They are still pushing in on towards those Nexus turrets, and Alliance can't do anything about it. They're trying to recall finally to get in there. It will be Wickd that goes down for that one.
Pekka sacrificed himself to go down, throw down the ultimate just when the free wave spawned from Alliance and clearing out the entire wave so that super minions could push in. Great use of barrier by Froggen.
That's a brilliant barrel, and actually he's going to go in. That might cost him his life. It will. It gives Rekkles the movement speed bonus that he needed to escape as well out of danger. That's a nice pickup here from Fnatic. They lead 8-5 in kills, and that gold is starting to tick their way.
It's starting to tick Fnatic's way. Froggen got slightly greedy there. He did a very good ultimate at first because he knew or he expected Fnatic to stand there and wait for him to actually walk in, but decided to body slam him in to try and get the kill on Rekkles. Too greedy, end up dying for it.
Taking a couple of minutes here for Alliance to finally get all those pesky minions out of their own base and force that wave back as far as they possibly can. In fact, the inhibitor has now respawned in that top lane, so Alliance will have a little bit of pressure relieved from their side of things, and in fact are pushing that lane as far back as they possibly can, already to the halfway point of the map. Meanwhile, YellOwStaR coming out, and there is a pink ward of his own as he continues to clear out at the sides. Let's have a look at that one once again. Froggen getting greedy.
Well, basically, Froggen tried to do the flash body slam, which is like instant body slam into the face of Rekkles, but sadly for him, YellOwStaR was in the way, and the body slam, boom, hit YellOwStaR.
Now here's the pink ward battle. Nyph will clear that one out there and walks away pretty satisfied, I'd imagine, with that one. He does actually have another pink ward of his own to put down, but he's a little bit cautious about doing that right now. Meanwhile, Rekkles, who's continuing to build his CS up. He's up to 300 farm at this point. Got himself the cowl in there as well. Going to have a bit of protection.
the lack of split pushing from Tabzz actually have put him far behind now in CS compared to Rekkles. Tabzz has been staying in the mid lane, trying to pick up farm, but he's been fighting versus Froggen for this farm, and obviously he's been losing out because Froggen can instant wave clear. So Tabzz actually fallen quite far behind now compared to Rekkles.
Well, the farm across the board is actually pretty impressive. I mean, you see Shyvana at 300, almost 300 for sOAZ as Renekton. Mid laners are both up past 300. In fact, Pekke's closer to 400, if anything, at 391. It's, as you said, just Tabzz that has fallen a little bit behind on that front. We'll see if that costs them moving forward. Right now, Fnatic are actually pushing themselves up towards Baron once again, and will be clearing out the pinks and the green wards that were put down there earlier. And actually, with one swift movement, that completely empties Alliance's vision of that area.
sOAZ getting caught by the hook.
Yeah.
Nope, he doesn't actually go for it. No.
Yeah, decided not to follow through from that one. I think a wise decision, but Alliance are actually trying to make a positional play here, maybe.
Basically, Alliance has no vision around the Baron. The only thing he can do right now is force Fnatic to come out and fight them. Pekka might be caught out though.
Yeah, we'll wait for the hook here from Nyph, and it's flashed away from by Peke. Nice move from him, but Shook at the backside actually kicks sOAZ away, and he's still managing to live through this one. Might not be so lucky here for Wickd. Who am I kidding? He's a big tanky dragon right in the middle of the team. There's a barrel to separate them. It brings back one. Tabzz will take down Cyanide. That will be a double kill for Tabzz on Vayne, and this gives them time now to push.
Amazing ultimate from Froggen right there. He hits 4 people and sets up the kill. Oh, Nyph, a little bit greedy, but Froggen's ultimate hits 4 people and sets up the double kill for Tabzz. Great play by him, and Alliance could actually have went for Baron here, but not going for it.
Yeah, I think the fact that Nyph got burst a little bit quicker than he expected there from Peke caught him off guard, and then Tabzz even took about half damage himself, and that will force them to not even think about pushing or going anywhere near that Baron at this point. They're quite happy to go back home once again, spend up what they've got. Shook is coming back into the fight in just a moment. There's a bit of armor in there now with the chain vest for Tabzz, and probably headed up to that Guardian Angel.
Definitely getting the Guardian Angel from this. He actually just completed the Guardian Angel, and now Wickd is going to pick up the Dragon. 4 lines. It gives more and more gold the longer we get in the game. So great pickup for him right now. And at the same time, they didn't actually gain too much from the team fight, but they managed to drag out the game a little bit more, and now we have the Guardian Angel completed on Tabzz, which makes him so deadly.
Let's have a look at that fight here once again. And it was that kick from Shook that really did the work.
But notice the ultimate coming in from Froggen in just a moment. 4 people grouped up, and here we go. Boom! Cyanide almost dying straight from it, but it sets up Tabzz. 1 kill for him, or 2 kills actually, because Cyanide seems to die from the red buff.
Yeah, red buff from that one, I think. Must have had the 1 auto attack onto him earlier, but this is that burst again from Nyph. Or on Nyph, I should say.
Well, a bit of a miscommunication right here. I think the rest of the team is saying, let's just force a Baron right now, or at least back off, while Nyph is like, well, I can try and make a hook here, make a big play. Didn't work for him as soon as the team just left him.
40 minutes almost into this game, and honestly, no clear leader. Look at the gold. It's bang level at this point. 6-4 in turrets to Fnatic. 9-7 they lead in kills as well. And Peke has now beaten that 400 CS mark up towards 425 million kills.
Peke has been gaining so much CS by throwing his ultimate to the side lanes and clearing the wave. He just did it right now again to clear the bot wave. He's right now so strong if they actually get a fight.
Well, speaking of right now, it's Baron time once again for Alliance, but you have to feel after what we've seen so far, it won't last too long, and indeed, they do walk away from that one, deciding not to really fight. Meanwhile, Fnatic have cleared out the vision on the backside of that Baron pit. Once again, there's a hook. It lands, though, onto YellOwStaR, not the target you want.
No, Alliance has been very careful with going in on their hooks. It generally seems like they don't want to team fight too much, or they want a team fight where they can kite a little bit, especially with Vayne, and just keep putting out damage and damage and damage. They don't want to go in for the all-in fight.
Well, we do have a Zhonya's Hourglass almost complete here by Froggen, which will allow him to belly slam right into the middle of him, throw his ultimate down and avoid some of that damage. Again, we see Alliance headed off towards the Baron. He's been taken to half HP countless times so far in this 40-minute game. Will this be the final time to pick it up?
Now, Fnatic knew this from the start. They expected it. They can't finish it.
Oh, they've gone for it, but he's stolen away there. It's Cyanide that managed to pick that one up. He died after. Oh, there's the super mega death rocket. Fnatic going to try and push this one home. There's the ultimate out of YellOwStaR, but they want Tabzz. He's got that Guardian Angel, don't forget, but that's going to get popped here in just a second. They're all on top of him. The jumpers will stop him from moving anywhere once he comes back up. Rekkles gets that one. He's now 5-0-4. We saw xPeke pretty much juking the two that were remaining from Alliance. Everything went Fnatic's way there. They lost just one man, and that man stole the Baron.
And that man is a beautiful man. Great steal from Cyanide. We've seen him do this in the past as well. He's so good at it. He comes in together with the bomb from xPeke and just smites it instantly. There's too much burst. Shook cannot smite it in the meantime. Great play by Fnatic. They can pick up the inhib right now, and they're back in the lead.
Well, Rekkles here wants that inhibitor. He took it down before, let's not forget. That feels like a bit of an eternity ago that they actually pushed that top lane out. Meanwhile, Peke pushing the mid lane as well. We've got Froggen there to defend this one. Actually, the barrel comes down. They've managed to hook in YellOwStaR, but really, is he the one that you want to get in there? No, he's not. sOAZ went to half HP. Peke was low as well. Alliance are going to try and push out, but I don't think they'll be able to secure any kills.
Now, I would like to talk a little bit about this Thresh pick, because we haven't actually seen Alliance use it too much. They've landed some hooks, but they decided not to go for the fight. We haven't seen any like lantern saves, or they set up some dives where they can lantern out. As a matter of fact, we haven't actually seen too much outside laning phase from Thresh.
I feel like I've seen this before in this game. Clearing out wards once again on the top side of that Baron pit. Fnatic actually backing away. And let's have a look at that one once again. This is that Baron steal from Cyanide.
Notice how much they actually do to keep Cyanide away. Yet he still managed to get in. He can flash the wall, and he instantly smites as the bomb hits. Beautiful play by Cyanide. And this is just a 50-50 smite between here and Shook. sOAZ goes in, the rocket hits on Nyph, beautiful play, and then they can lock down Tabzz in the end, and actually also pop his Guardian Angel, which is even more important.
So well played there, and Cyanide, we called him before the king of smite steals because he has done it so many times before. There's a barrel taking Peke down to half. He dodges the Q out of Shook, but can he get away from the rest? That was a replay. I'm casting over a replay, getting all excited about it.
Well,
what can I say? I just love casting exciting moments.
It was pretty exciting, you know, we had already seen it, we knew what's going to happen, but Froggen actually just tried to flash Body Slam again without much success. He's been trying it a few times this game and not really working for him.
Well, at least he wasn't Nunu counter jungle in between his own turrets. It wasn't the worst mistake ever made in history. Fnatic here are pushing once again, though. That Baron buff is still running for him, and this is where the Ziggs comes even more deadly. We saw how his wave clear earlier on was so good, but the poke that he offers here is incredible.
The amount of poke buff him and Jinx has is amazing. Also, the tower damage they can put out with the passive from 6.
They've managed to hook Cyanide, and well, the barrel will actually send him to relative safety from that one. The poke keeps coming, and they're just going to tank this one up. They're fed up with playing the waiting game. Fnatic take down another inhibitor turret. The inhib's not going to last very long either. Are they going to push in for the win? It's still 5v5.
There's only one tower left. They can actually try and dive this one and pick the fight they want. They still have the Baron buff, but let's see actually what happens. Will they go for the fight? The hook comes in.
Yeah, the hook will land, but again, it's onto Leona. You don't want the hook to land onto Leona, and they're going to keep going through this one. There is that Nexus turret going down. Fnatic still have 5 men alive. Leona ultimate thrown out. Wickd actually getting caught up here by the assault and battery. That's a kill. Nyph's going to go down. Fnatic surely can end this one. They want to kill Tabzz at the backside of things. That'll be left to Peke, while the rest of the team just go hell for leather into it. There's the ultimate. Tabzz tumbles away from it, but look at the Nexus. He's going to go down. Fnatic pick up their second win of the day, and unfortunately for Alliance, it's their second loss today.